Hello, this is Midweek Expressо with me, Daniel Demant, and to my left is...
I'm Connolly, nice to meet you all.
Okay, so this is our podcast. We are here to discuss, how to be more optimum, how to be the best version of yourself, and also other life discussions such as in mental health, well-being, and how to be amazing. That's what we're here for, and things that we've tried, things that we're looking at, and obviously to build a community, of people to share what they've tried.
Yeah.
What they're looking to do, what's the current health buzz at the moment, etc. And also maybe a few odd discussions on what's going on in the world today. What do you think, Pierce?
Yeah, I mean, this whole idea is to sort of explain what's going on with us, and I'm sure many of you can relate to the same issues that we're facing, and this is going to be just a sort of method of dealing with it, discussing it, and sharing how we've overcome our problems.
What, globally or just ourselves?
In the universe.
In the universe. Okay, guys, so remember to follow us on our social media. That will be on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is @MidweekExpresso. And very soon we'll be doing some live broadcasting on YouTube, so look out for that. But for now, stream us on
Anchor.fm,
which I'm sure that's where you are listening to us right now, on Anchor.fm. And any updates, any further developments, we'll let you know in the due course future.
Yeah, well... There's a lot of things we're going to be discussing in the next few months, years, etc., etc. So it's definitely worth staying up to date with what we're doing. For example, as you said, things like sleep, diet, fitness, but not just for people who can do it. But say you've got a desk job, you've got a 9 to 5, and you can't necessarily plan ahead or get out to the gym or whatever. You might work shifts, so you might have a very busy schedule. So what we're going to try and do is help you improve your well-being through different
and ourselves in the process. Yeah.
Well, as you said earlier, we are looking at maybe doing some self-experiments. So that sounds a little bit test tubes, but no. So for example. As we discussed earlier, everyone's told that you're meant to have between 6 and 8 hours sleep a night, right? So you're told that, but the quality of that sleep can vary from person to person. There's a lot of factors that can come into play, and certain things are just so vital that people don't get enough of, and that they can be going to the gym, they could be drinking lots of green tea, having all their vitamins, but then they don't get the right quality of sleep, and they feel sluggish, and then they start having coffee
to get more energy.
Yeah. I mean, we're sufferers of that as well.
Well, I think kind of that I'm getting better with it all. Like as in, I mean, I'll go to bed in the week I'll go to bed, sort of make sure I'm in bed by 10 o'clock, and but like it's hard. I'm still trying to discover where our best set at, really.
I think you've just literally summed up everything that we're going to discuss.
What's that? Sorry. Like what actually
it's hard.
It's life is hard itself. If it was easy, everybody be perfect and everything.
Exactly. And not everything is.
Nothing.
That's, I mean, in your brain, everyone's got this perfect idea of what they want to achieve. And you're told as a kid, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And there's a certain truth to that. Nowadays we do have the opportunities that a lot of people can sort of go after what they want to.
And we should, but it's just about.
We should, but it's.
So not to interrupt you quickly, hold that thought, but it's about how do you organise yourself to. I mean, you're not going. Act, plan to a reasonable level, take action, and then address as you go along and adjust. So as you were saying,
I mean, everyone thinks they can do better, which is good in some aspects, because you're always pushing yourself, and how can the human race move forward if we don't push ourselves? But I definitely feel like we've got to a point in sort of society where what,
like UK or just in your experience?
Just in general, well, yeah, that we really do push ourselves, and sometimes it can be seen as pushing ourselves too hard. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be motivated to do what we want to achieve.
Yeah.
But there's a certain level that we need to stop and think, like, this might actually be
more harm than good.
Yeah,
Okay.
might be more harm into.
I'll probably put in. Let you carry on, and I'll dive in a second.
Carry on.
No, there's anything particular that you can think of that may be more like it's kind of good advice, but the right advice at the wrong time can be bad advice, kind of thing. Or
exactly.
Not advice, but even researching, like going down that rabbit's hole. Sorry, like looking for YouTube videos, blogs,
there's no point,
articles, research. So
there's no point looking into maybe how, like, for example, where I work, it's very hard for me to plan the week's meals ahead. So I can do all this research into
being more productive.
Yeah, being more productive, planning your meals ahead, cooking them up, taking them into work, but it's just not realistic. So, for example, certain advice just isn't applicable to everyone. It's not. There's always different ways around the same problem. It's about finding the right way that works for you.
And I think most importantly, 100%, it's working with people trying to head towards the same direction what you're trying to look for. Doesn't mean copy that person, but you don't feel like you're as alone trying to source out the balance that you're looking for yourself.
Yeah. And I guess through doing this podcast, we'll actually find the people that you might think you're alone in your problems of trying to get yourself together, trying to be the best you, but everyone's trying to be the best them. It's just,
I think the problem is, say, like, so many areas we could talk about this, but this is all about not necessarily my morning. Sorry, listeners, my morning routine or Pierce's morning routine, but I find that like Tony Robbins, a bunch of other people that I'm not going to mention. I only said Tony Robbins that I'm going to start like, let's say slagging him off. Okay, I'm not going to slag him off, but it is. You got to look where he's at to what he puts in these days to get what he needs to do.
It's not possible for everyone to.
And I think for someone like myself that suffers from a lot of anxiety, and my brain thinks quite quickly, a little bit too fast, as you probably hear today. I do talk quite rapidly, quick. Is that having too many things to do, say, in the first 2 hours of your day, and if you work at 6 or 5 in the morning and you plan up, get an hour and a half before you have to leave the house, what works for you. You don't have to do like meditation, then stand on top of the house or the edge of the roof to summon the
feeling good God.
Yeah, or whatever it may be. Then wait and watch the sun come up and all. I mean, these are all great things that you not necessarily stand on the edge of your roof of your house, but
please don't do that.
Because we don't want to be responsible for people like accidentally falling off and seriously injuring themselves or worse. But whatever people are saying what to do and not to do, I think we need to cut through to find out. I think the main thing I'm become good at, and yet I'm still not finding my groove, and you've got to like kind of adjust every day accordingly, especially if you work for yourself like I do at the moment. Sorry, go on.
I'll tell you what, tell me, so for example, your morning routine is very, very different to mine. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's perfect or exciting.
Nobody's morning routine is perfect. Let's face it. There's always room for improvement. But for example, where I have to get up very early for work, I start my morning routine the night before. So when I get in from work, I'll prepare for the next day. If I'm working the next day, I'll prepare for the morning. Like I'll get my uniform out, do everything.
Sure.
Make sure literally that everything's ready, good to go. Like
85% of your morning is organised. So
to the point where I can be, from the minute my eyes open and I turn off my 11 alarms. Yeah. And then you always have to wait till the last alarm before you get out of bed.
Yeah.
From then, 10 minutes and I'm out the door. That's 10
minutes? You give yourself 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, well, yeah, because you have to get the train by, 5:30, is it?
It's 10 to 7, my train.
Oh, so a little bit later. But then you've got traffic and stuff.
Yeah, I've got to drive to the station.
So that's good that you...
Well, it works for me at the moment, but it's not perfect.
Do you still...
It works for me at the moment, but it's not perfect. It's not, at all ideal.
I mean, it's ideal in the sense of putting things in place that you takes the less thinking. the guesswork out in the morning, forgetting things. So you've planned 85% or whatever percentage you want, like more or less most of, you know. And
I'm sure a lot of people are like that as well, where they'll spend as much possible time in bed as they can, because you know, sleep's so important, and you need a really good night's sleep if you're doing tough work the next day. But obviously, it's not ideal because I don't have breakfast at home. I don't, you know, have a drink of water when I get up. I'm up and I'm just one foot in front of the other till I get to work, and then I can sit down, have a coffee, and that sort of thing.
But I'm not saying it's wrong. It sounds like it's something you've got into a habit of doing. You feel like it kind of works for now. Do you find you feel still stressed in the morning, or feel about rushed in that having only 15 minutes or 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So taking something that you feel like kind of works, what would you like in your head at the moment would like to improve on to make? What do you want to do?
The best way I could describe it is not necessarily it working, but it's more of a bodge. So it just about works.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people are the same, you know, especially if you're just starting out in the sort of world of work. Say you just come out of uni or school, and then you're thrust into the world of work, but you've also got all these side projects that you're doing.
Outside of work.
It's very, very tough to find the time. You know, there's not enough hours in the day, not enough days in the week.
And it's that, but also the mental focus to be on it when you're doing it, and also preparing for it, you know, because obviously you can come in and, like, we can come and do this podcast today, and if we had no idea what at least 75% what we're going to be talking about, how we want to structure it, it'd just be sitting there just going over stuff that wouldn't make any sense.
Stuff that we chat about anyway.
But we, you know, for the listeners, we want to keep it kind of constructive and to the point as much. Even though this first podcast is going to kind of be an open talk about to what we're doing or what we want to talk about. But just to move on to myself, I want to talk about myself. It's just like talk about morning routine. Sorry, frog in my throat.
Because you've, in my opinion, your morning routine's pretty good.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Well, mine is you're saying my routine's pretty good, but what I mean is not every day. Say if I went for a 5-mile run every day, some people can do that. It's not something I would want to do every day. But what habit I'm trying to implement is like the first hour, a bit like what you did.
Yeah.
Implement. Am I saying the right word?
Implement. Yeah.
It's like the first hour is like, you know, get out of bed, like you said, drink a couple of glasses of water, which I like to do anyway. Gets the system going, gets your brain thinking. I know people say, I like to have a tea in the morning, but that's where people go wrong. They dehydrate themselves before they even got to give themselves half a chance.
That's really interesting, actually, because I still do it, unfortunately, have coffee in the morning because it perks you up.
But when you say coffee in the morning, at home or when you get to work?
When I get to work.
Well, that's all right, because you've had time, but you've had some water in that time, no?
No, well, that's the thing, I don't usually have a water before I leave the house.
So maybe you're not...
I don't have the time to, because I've restricted myself so much on time.
No, what I mean is get yourself a bottle of water to put in the fridge to take with you or if you put it in your bag, bag you take with you. You know, that's you know. So you're gonna have a glass of water, but then you've got an extra water on the train. Yeah. I mean, do you take a bottle of water or a bottle for fluid?
That's the way I get to the work because I do my I check all my emails on the train, so I don't have time to do anything else. Yeah,
but like the night before, just put a bottle of water.
Yeah.
That way, if you do miss that water in the morning, at least you've got that. At least it's something.
Well, I mean, as you said, if going back to the tea, reason why you shouldn't have it, well, you can, but a water is better because the reason why you're so tired, apart from obviously just coming out of sleep, is because you're dehydrated because you haven't been drinking in your sleep
for 8 hours or whatever, and maybe a few hours before you go to sleep as well. You could, so I'm talking over you there, but like you could like. You know, like for myself, I try not to have any fluids about an hour and a half before.
So you don't wake up in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I mean, the only time I will struggle, I've had a little bit of a drinky poos that I will probably pee once or twice in the night, which, you know, getting old, you know. I must just let you guys know, which I'm sure you'll find out later down the line, we are actually complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Like I'm nearly approaching 40. Pierce is into his 22 now or 21? 21. So it's good kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of good...
it's dynamic, isn't it?
Dynamic of the spectrum from a young perspective, from a nearly approaching middle-aged spectrum, I guess. So it's interesting that some of the things we will talk about in the future that we have the same ideas and outlook on, and it's totally like from a young man to an old man, still trying to find their groove. As I said before, I keep using groove. It's quite a Michael Jackson thing, saying find the groove, baby.
You're a very groovy man.
Groovy man,
Dan. But yeah, sorry. Going back to the dehydration after sleep, the reason you should have water is because obviously water is the best source of hydration. Not unless you have a nice tonic drink. But the caffeine in the tea or coffee actually dehydrates you. I'm throwing my hands up. I'm not entirely sure how caffeine works on dehydrating you, but it does.
It's a diuretic, like alcohol. I know.
Yeah.
I just think it's just a rule of thumb. Make sure you get plenty of water in the morning. I'm not saying go drink gallons of water first thing in the morning, but as long as you have a glass of water to bed with you to sip on during the night, maybe have a bottle next to you in the bedroom, so you drink the rest of your water, you down that. Because sometimes if you get out of bed, you have what's ever left in your glass. I don't wait, talk about water way too much here, but just give an example for people to implement this into their own like routine. Is this what I'd be doing is like take a glass of water plus a bottle of water, about 500, 400 litres,
yeah,
whatever
it is.
I'm
not saying drink your whole 2 litres right in the morning. But,
500 litres? What am I talking about? Millilitres.
Millilitres, It varies person by person, doesn't it? Like, for example, I have to drink maybe 4 to 5 litres a day because I get dehydrated very, very easily.
Oh, you're on your feet quite a lot and long hours.
Yeah. Whereas, obviously, the recommended amount is
2 litres.
2 to 3 litres. Yeah.
Oh, well, there's been lots of talk about that there may not necessarily be as much. I may have badge on drinking loads of water. Yes, water's good for you, but then you don't want to overhydrate, which is a completely different subject. I mean, if you're drinking around about 2.5 litres of water a day, including other drinks as well, so you have to remember that as fluid, but try and keep majority of that as water, then you're going the right direction.
There's definitely a level that you shouldn't go past drinking water, but general rule of thumb, if you're thirsty, drink water. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about the morning routine quite a lot.
Yeah. We'll move on in a bit. What I find really helpful with getting prepared for the next morning is just do it before you sit down, before you relax when you get in from work. Just smash it out. It takes 10 minutes, not even that.
Yeah, just, I mean, especially if you do like 50% of that, and then if you need to cook any food up or prepare, that can be done later on. But especially like change your bag over, sort out your clothes quickly, put old clothes in the wash or whatever. But whatever it is you guys need to do, just try and plan ahead for the next day, as it takes less guesswork. And then so many people preach that and do it. I do it myself, and it doesn't make life any exciting, but just takes that kind of what am I doing in the first half hour of my day, But if everyone can get sort of work towards giving themselves an hour, most important.
I mean, we work in a very productive society, don't we? I mean, back in the day, people wouldn't have necessarily had to, like, I'm talking quite like, a few hundred years ago, before everybody had set like roles and jobs and all that sort of thing. When we were all sort of like farming around, we didn't have to be in the office for 9. So everybody would sort of wake up, get themselves all sort of energised and ready for the day. I say that, they probably didn't. I don't know, I wasn't around then. Yeah. But things were a lot more relaxed in terms of scheduling and what's expected of you on the level of sort of getting up in the morning.
So I suppose it's a topic everyone's trying to carve out, find the ideal. The only thing I wanted to mention, and we have gone on along about this, is that whatever you do the night before, how much time you have in the morning, do something that sort of not gets you up for the day, but some puts you in a good state for the day, I think, as well. Not spend hours, like 10 minutes something. I don't know what it'd be. Me, I listen to certain music sometimes, or if I already got something planned, like, I know, meeting up with Pierce, or I'm going to just relax today, that can probably put you in a good mindset, think, I've got no pressure today, things like that. But when it's a working week, if you work 5 days, X amount of days, whatever, you're self-employed or employed, it's just figuring out, don't stress about it, because I'm still figuring out because I can't always do ideally what I would like to do. That puts me in a good head mental space and the physical state as well. Physical state, it's just finding that thing, that sort of like you at least that one thing you look forward to doing, or having in your morning. Like most people say, I like having my morning coffee. So for them, getting up, drink some water first, getting dressed, getting out the door, and then heading to the station or near their work, and that coffee, that could be I'm looking forward to my coffee. And that's what it gets you through the day, and you don't have any other health issues like being overstimulated, your sleep's all in check. Then keep doing what works. Don't break it. Don't fix if it ain't broken.
The one thing I would say is that if you do have
I don't want to mention coffee, but some people it is that.
Well, it is a midweek espresso.
So just keep it around the coffee.
Yeah. What I would say is that if a certain song makes you happy, it makes you feel good. Do not set it as your alarm.
Yes.
Because you will end up hating your favourite song.
Yeah, that is very true.
Don't even put just it might. Well, this is my personal opinion. It might work differently for you. Might work differently for our listeners. But I just keep the alarm as a standard one that you can learn to hate.
I mean, talking about alarm setting and ideal morning stuff. I mean, there's so many stuff that we can, dissect and talk for half an hour or longer. Like I said, coming up, we do want to keep. This is our first podcast, MIDWEEK EXPRESSO. Just throw the name drop again, and this one probably be an hour long, just to sort of go over what we like to talk about, and then each session after that will be about hopefully half an hour. But bringing back to the topic, it's like I did see a video. I don't know who it was. It's probably about a year ago, saying. It's a bit like morning routines. It's like not one routine is going to be that's it for life and now you're fixed. I mean, you fixed it. Like, you ain't got to think of nothing else. It's like it's like eating one source of food and you think that's going to solve all the other problems.
Exactly,
so you got to have a mix or different protocols. Eventually learn those protocols, what I need to do. And in terms of alarms, like I'm starting to wake up before my alarm goes off, but it's hard sometimes to engage because I do wake up. I'm a light sleeper, so sometimes it's hard to know if it's near 6 o'clock or near whatever time. The only time I know it's gone 7:30, I can see my door's got a bit of light coming in. I think, oh shit, I've overslept. But and I'm the one talking about getting up early and stuff. Well, I haven't actually mentioned what time I get up, but I like to get up reasonably early just to have an hour to myself and then sort of tackle the day. I don't normally, on days when I have purely got my own day to plan and I ain't got to particularly be in any meetings or meet up with anyone until like 9 or 10 o'clock, say, in the morning, that I like having that hour and a half to myself, not to do nothing. And I don't normally start my day till 9 o'clock anyway. Got time you've exercised, rejig things around, maybe check emails. I mean, I like going forward. Eventually I'll have more of a rhythm that it really works for me, because you see so many people talk about, I'm going to get up and do this and this and this, and then I go to the gym by 10. And again, a bit like Tony Robbins and so many entrepreneurs on YouTube and wherever else, they all talk about my morning routine is like this and do it like that. And then a lot of people, like, again,
but
it's helpful, but it's
more damaging than good most of the time, because
it's not applying to the average person that just wants to feel a bit better about their day.
There may be very motivational people, and they may be very successful themselves, and that morning routine may work for them.
But I'm sure they have different ones.
I'm sure they do, and it's at the end of the day, if you try and do that and you don't achieve it, you end up feeling worse.
Let yourself down. So I think as I'm learning as I go along, and hard as it is, it ain't that interesting. But going to pull back is that I saw a video or whatever it was saying having different alarms set and trying, like you said, about not having your favourite song or your favourite thing as your alarm because you start hating it. So I'm guilty of falling into this category that I haven't been doing it myself, that I have like a bird wake up alarm, like birds chirping, which is quite nice.
Every time you walk down the street and you hear a bird,
it's my alarm. That kind of works for me at the moment. But I used to go through the thing of having a song that I really, really liked, but then it went for a stage where I couldn't stand it. So,
exactly,
but I think the ideal situation in terms of getting up, everyone wants to get into the sort of roughly right time they need to go to bed and roughly right time they need to get up before the alarm get up. That's the ideal situation, because when we was cavemen or more primitive, I know we've moved on from since then, but you hear a lot of people that got their kind of sleeping checked and their life rhythm in check, that they have an alarm set as a safety net, but they generally wake up just before 15 minutes to alarm. But there are some other people that will plan for 7 to 8 hour rest time, but sometimes they need less sleep or more. Sometimes we're guilty of not getting up till our alarm goes off, and then sometimes we're even worse. Like Saturday night, I went to bed quite early, and I wasn't necessarily tired. I was just like feel like chilling out, but I ended up falling asleep in my clothes, and I didn't set an alarm, and I had like easy 10 hours sleep, thinking, maybe I just needed more sleep today. I actually felt more tired, but
as you say, sometimes you do need more sleep. What's interesting is that obviously when we were cavemen back in our primitive state, we slept on circadian rhythms, didn't we?
Yeah.
So when the sun was up, we were up.
Yeah.
When the sun was down, we were down. And obviously in the winter, the nights are longer, so we would have slept for longer. And obviously it's colder as well, so you need more energy.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. Is that obviously back then we didn't have set bedtimes and set hours of sleep we're meant to get. It's all done on an average. All these recommended.
Yes, it's done and probably how you felt and stuff.
Yeah.
And this day and age, we don't seem to have that. I mean, there's definitely things we can limit down on, which I'm still working on. I'm better at. It's like, at least half. Let's be realistic. At least half hour before bed. No TV, no blue screens like phones and what have you.
Just can't do it.
I mean, I didn't do it too. I actually stopped looking at any TV or any blue screens whatsoever, like be computer or TV or. But when I have done it for like everything, they always say everything takes 30 days to really see a change if it works or doesn't work. The only thing I haven't done that at least 5 days in a week to do it to 30 days or 20 days or whatever, and just to see if does it actually work. I'm not saying at the weekend just sod everything off and just eat what you want and don't exercise, sleeping all day. That's not what I'm saying, and destroy what you've worked so hard in the week. But it's just I haven't done it long enough to see if do you actually get deeper, better sleep.
Well, it's like that. Obviously, as you say, don't just let yourself go at the weekend. It's like that thing where you eat well for 5 days and then you can go mad at the weekend. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think that's a good idea at all. No. But yes, it's an interesting one. There's there's so many not strange, but there's so many new diets out there that obviously everyone wants to look good, feel good, but it's a very delicate art of finding the right balance and the right types of food for you, because it varies from person to person. So obviously Dan is quite into food, and he's a little bit of a healthy chef.
Yeah.
But he's got a very, well, in my opinion, very varied and balanced diet. Whereas me, I don't eat meat, I don't eat fish, so it's very hard for me to get.
Basically, he's a vegetarian. No, I'm not.
Yeah. He eats everything. I don't. And sometimes it's hard for me to get the vitamins and the nutrients that I need.
I mean, a lot of vegans and vegetarian vegans that when they just sort of dive into it, I don't really know to plan their daily nutrition around. I'm not talking about meals or recipes here, but just a sort of overall micronutrient intake for the day. They sort of miss a lot of like B12s, iron.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I've been a vegetarian since I was about 6, so I'm quite used to not having meat and fish, but I've had to start taking this iron and B12, B6 supplement because you get tired so quickly. Yeah.
I mean, even I take a little bit extra B12 just to cover myself. I'll probably I ain't tracked my food now for 2 weeks because I just wanted to have a break from tracking. I know roughly where. I know roughly where I stand with. I'm kind of like calories. If anyone's interested, I'm eating around maintenance calories. My micronutrients, not my macronutrients, but my micronutrients, which is your vitamins and minerals, in case anyone doesn't know, are pretty on point. But I think a lot of sometimes people, not just myself, struggle with fatigue or energy levels throughout the days is that quality of sleep and overstimulus, which we will talk about more on another time, because I wouldn't mind moving on to some other stuff, which is all kind of relative around the same topic, but like, sleep, stress management, rest, getting good quality rest. It's just, back in my days as a fitness instructor, and I'm starting reading my books again because I'm going back into the health and fitness industry, training myself to be a health coach in the near future, which I'll explain a little bit more what that's about another time. People think, well, what's a health coach and personal trainer? There is a difference, but again, I will explain it in another episode later down the line. So a lot of people think about health and well-being, but under like the fitness, what I was reading up the other day is like, it should be all aspects of well-being itself, like from the emotional, social connection, spiritual, mental health, nutritional to the physical fitness. I can go into more specifics of physical fitness, but we'll discuss that another time. But like, with all that combined, is like a lot of people, we do overcomplicate things, and
we do as humans. We are terrible.
And we should limit down the options that we give ourselves, but also what I'm trying to do is remember to have that sort of do nothing time or fun. Just being creative, because I'm
happy,
yeah. So that's what we need to remember, is that life, it's not easy. It never will be. I
mean, we
need to make it is easier than what people think, but
we make life way more complicated than.
But
than
I think it's actually there's a video that I saw the other day. I haven't really. There's so many videos I want to watch, self-development stuff, but I kind of put them on the back burner. Thinking if I watch it now, there's so many other things I'm currently doing.
It's the wrong time,
wrong time. Good advice at the wrong time could be bad advice. But it's one thing I take from this short advert I saw video. So it wasn't reminding me to watch this chat or seminar or whatever. But one thing he said, a lot of goals that goes around our head, the demands that we put on ourselves and expect from ourselves, it's not necessarily always coming from inside of us, it's coming from external things, which is always tricky, especially like expectancy on other people. I mean, the only person you can rely on is yourself, but that can be tricky at times as well, because sometimes it's hard to not spiral down negative thoughts and have more positive thoughts, obviously, but to get yourself more positive, or someone's sort of got into built a good habit of being in a more positive state or working on themselves, is try and put yourself around those people. And if you can't find them physically, try and find them online, which I'll rather try and meet up with these people or be in a group or whatever it may be, like if it's like meditation or a friend group.
This is going to be.
So where was I going with this, Piers?
It's a very good question, Dan.
Just a lot of goals and what we're going to limit down on our lives to focus on things. I think a lot of, you hear it never again, a lot of action that people take is coming from a place of anxiety and fear. But primitively, we try and be aware of dangers around us. So that's kind of in our instinct, thinking, if I don't do this, this might happen, and all that. It's good to have those things, but I think now, and I'm definitely guilty where it's still 100% that it's too much there of a fear state of trying to think the best result to get the best outcome, best current thing to do to get the best outcome.
You expect so much of yourself that you end up damaging yourself.
And also, I'm a dyslexic person. I'm not embarrassed by that. It is harder for me to do things, certain tasks and stuff. So I am got to be very aware. And I've realised recently that if, say, Piers was going to knock up a covering letter or something, I don't know, so that, I don't know, someone to sponsor us in the future, like maybe, I don't know, My Protein or whatever, or whatever it may be, or kind of some mental health kind of organisation. That he probably knock it out in half an hour, which I'll take 2 hours, because I need to, even though I might be using a system that helps me spell check things and that, but I have to make sure I write down not as I talk much, because so it takes things a little bit longer. So, and me meaning by that is that I have to be aware, it's rubbish as it is, I will get better and I will find other systems to speed things up, but just say, instead of like Piers can throw 4 things in a day, in an 8-hour working day or whatever it may be, I might only can do 3 to 2, and you might achieve 4 or 5 things, So, and sometimes you think, I could have done this, could have done that. But actually, what I found last week is that by doing 3 main tasks, starting to say, I don't know, whether it's 3 hours of this and then 3 hours of that, and you have to take into account that there will be break times. You need to go to the toilet, you need to eat. These things happen.
Everybody's human.
Especially if you're working from home and stuff, you need a bit more regular breaks. So what I was doing, whatever task it may be, so it was like refreshing my knowledge in fitness and health. I set a alarm for 20 minutes study, and actually forget about that time. When it goes off, I set a 10-minute break, so I can choose that 10-minute break to go for a quick walk, just to walk around the house, do a bit of tidying up, and then come back to work. And then after these 3 hours, or not 3 hours of work, but the 3 hours do quality work, so it's kind of like 40 minutes of work and then 20 minutes off. I know, but it kind of worked for me. It kept me disciplined, it kept me on point, and plus because I'm by myself, it kind of helped. So what I mean is just finding, again, limit down your options, put in 2 to 3 most priority things to do in that day. A bit like when you're at school, you go to school and then you do your homework and then you play. So
what is really interesting, you just said about doing work for maybe 20 minutes, then breaking for 10. I heard somewhere that it's a popular technique of working in like Silicon Valley, all those sort of high demanding sort of long hours, doing the same sort of thing. Right. So I'm talking about app programmers, designers, that sort of thing.
Right.
What they do is they do 20 minutes work, 20 minutes rest, sleep, whatever. 20 minutes work, 20 minutes rest, sleep, whatever. And they just do that for a couple of weeks on end, of working for 20 minutes, relaxing for 20 minutes, working for minutes, then relaxing again. Working for minutes, yeah. You get the idea. So 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. A bit like the Karate Kid, you know, wax on, wax off.
Okay.
But personally, I don't think that would work for me. But clearly, it works for some people.
Well, I kind of looked at it as like a kind of interval training, if you will. Like if you're working on the harder bit most, and then a limited short time rest, like HIIT training really or interval training. I may just thought of that now. I didn't actually do that on purpose, but it's that kind of concept. Like, you know, your output, your higher working rate should be longer than your rest rate in the working day. You know. And we do rest a lot less than we should do, or take time off to de-stress and stuff.
I definitely feel that there's a common misconception that I don't know about you, but especially towards younger people, that they just sit home, watch Netflix, just relax. A
lot of people do. Some people.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of people do, but it's a bit of a misconception. But obviously, you push yourself, I push myself.
A little bit too hard sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't really have much time for relaxation. This is my idea of relaxation. Coming here, hanging out with a mate, doing a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, some people rather be productive in a creative sense, or hang out. Like, again, I said it so many times now, that it's putting yourself around people same interests, same mindset, same direction in life. Not all of those three, but around and around, whatever. Basically, put you around people that whatever,
like-minded, that will help you.
Yeah.
But
whatever.
Obviously, everybody's different. What we're talking about here, this may work for us, but some people might need that time to just sit down and watch Netflix, or other streaming platforms are available.
I mean, there's people that, as long as they earn X amount of money, all they do is want to work, and then anything out of that is their time, and that's fine. But I think the only point with that is very limited, where they find they're doing a job they can do, they may not enjoy, they get the money they want, and all they're doing is constantly planning to escape them life all the time, like going on holidays.
Nothing wrong with that. I love a good holiday.
No, I'm not saying they're wrong with this, but I mentioned any people I know personally, or whatever. But I know there's what they find is, it's hard. You're lucky to do for a living what you enjoy and you love. Right? It comes to your job, right? And even then, sometimes it can be not what you want to do. You might want to change careers, direction, or whatever. Or what you did as a hobby, it turned into a job, is not as enjoyable. But anything as a job, there's going to be good, boring bits, and not, I don't really want to do this today, to good bits. But if you're lucky to do a job where, say, a football player or something, you've got to be remember to be privileged to pay him something that you did as a kid, as something fun. Never thought this would be something you do as a living, But on the other side of that is people that do a job where it covers their income and outgoings, or covers their current lifestyle, and you don't need to have millions of pounds to do a certain thing, or have a house that makes it. Again, loads of external things. For example, Michael Jackson, Prince, so many other people that I'm just, because I'm big fans of them and I've studied them quite a lot. Is that like they had, if they had all the money in the world and all that, and they always mentioned that they're very lonely people. So you don't want to fall into the category where you're just looking to escape your life all the time, or but it's hard to very hard to have an income, find if the job that you can do in get some sort of interest and enjoyment out of it, and then also have the downtime to do things you want to do. And that's going back to what Peter was saying, it's fine to have other outlets as your downtime, and keep, as long as it's being productive and it's helping you, and fine. I'm not saying all downtime needs to be doing nothing, but sometimes I think doing nothing is needed as well. But
exactly.
Everyone works differently.
What might seem productive to us might not be productive. So say if you wanted to make a podcast with your mate, and but there's a lot of work that goes into that. And if you don't enjoy that and it stresses you out, it might cause more harm than good. So that sort of person may be better off taking some time out, get a cup of tea, watching something on telly, but we're both quite productive people, aren't we? So this is my sort of idea of downtime doing this.
Yeah, I guess so, because it's getting your thoughts off your chest and what you currently be doing, and hopefully, we know we're definitely not alone in striving for better self-help.
Everybody wants.
So I suppose
self-help.
I mean, I'm sure we're not alone on this conquest of of being a bit more productive and but it is really now. It's really now like really forced on us that we have to be doing this and doing that, and I think all these people like Tony Robbins and whoever else, it is coming from the right place. I know it's a business at the end of the day what they do, but it is coming trying to be the most optimal person of yourself. It is coming from the right place.
Your best you.
But everyone's got to find their best you or their own rhythm over time, and sometimes it comes sooner than later, which is kind of the painful part of it, finding out what makes you tick and how do you best work.
I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's trying to achieve this, and there's only a very few lucky people that actually do. But obviously, through this podcast, we're helping to sort of help you understand yourself while we try and figure out what works for us as well. Because too many times you see, you need to do this, you need to do that, this is going to help you. It might not. Everybody's different. Everybody has different things that work or don't work for them. I
think the number one thing, the key thing to remember is less is more, always.
Always.
But it's hard to get trapped in and think we can do more to be more to get ahead. And then when you find yourself, your head, your mind's... Because people always underestimate power of the mental power.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's like the things you always think in the head or not to do is all in your head, and it takes a lot of energy as well as physical energy. So it's not just separate. The mind and body has to eventually be in unison at some point to work together more effectively to be more productive.
And it's all about that, and getting a bit of a clearer headspace when you're looking at doing big tasks. Just really sort of getting that negativity out as much as possible, helping you achieve what you want to achieve, and sometimes understanding that what you want to achieve might just be a bit too much, and you need to either dial it down a little bit or maybe look at something else. Yeah,
because you got to assess where you are in your head currently to what you can figure out to take away, and then after a couple of weeks or a month or something, you think, okay, I've took this thing away. Do I feel better? Do I feel worse? And then
if you feel better, great. If you feel worse, then it might be looking at trying to do it again.
Approach it from a different approach. And don't be scared to fail and try again. But long as
it's the best way to learn, isn't it? Failure?
Yeah. And long as you're heading in the right direction, that's the main thing. And
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up towards the end now. I hope you've enjoyed this random, not random, it's been quite steered towards like this sort of...
Just a general overview of what we're going to discuss.
Yeah, about health and well-being and what will be coming up. I'm sure there'll be other topics as well. That's what we're going to be about. But
have you enjoyed yourself then?
Oh yeah, I have. It's been good. It's been good. I was a bit nervous starting in, just to make sure I try and keep.
It's our first podcast, isn't it?
First one. Try and keep things focused. But remember, guys, to follow us on social media, and where you can follow us is on Instagram, obviously Twitter, and very soon YouTube, and also to stream us on Anchor FM. So that's where we'll be at. And then any expansions or any further developments, we'll let you know in the future of that.
Hopefully, as our community grows, we will grow. Yeah. But we won't have a community unless people like you who are listening let your friends know about our podcast.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So again, just mention it one more time, Piers. Where can I follow us?
You're listening on Anchor.fm. You can subscribe to us here. You can download the podcast here. Hopefully, we're looking at going onto YouTube very soon, where you can listen to our audio, and also Spotify. Please do get in contact with us on Instagram if you've enjoyed this podcast. We're also going to be uploading things like healthy recipes, hopefully, day-to-day things you can do to just sort of improve your mental well-being, your physical well-being.
Yeah, things that we're trying out, we'll keep informed what we're getting up to, and then we can do these little experiments together and the community to share ideas all together with your nan and your friends and even your neighbour.
Share with everybody.
Share with everybody
as well.
So even your cat, even the spider in the corner
of the room. Yeah. Oh, the spider.
Spread the word, spread the love, spread the joy.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for listening. It's been lovely having you listen to us, although I don't know who you are.
Who? Me?
Who's listening?
Yeah, wherever you are, just let you know who you are and get in contact. Obviously, after a couple of episodes, just give us feedback that you might want to hear or what you thought about the podcast, and that's it. So I'm signing off. I've been Daniel Demant.
And I've been Piers Connolly. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
And this has been Midweek Expresso.
See you next time.
See you next time.